My new dust collector is terrific, but it is a power hog. It needs its own dedicated 20 amp circuit. That means I'm kind of short on circuits for my other power tools, and I need to rig up some extension cord reels. I started by making a map of my outlets so I could figure out which outlets are on the same circuit. My shop is about 20 feet by 30 feet long, and you're looking at the west wall, that's 30 feet. Every outlet on the west wall is on a single circuit breaker, and of course that's where I need to plug in the dust collector. So all of the outlets on that 30-foot wall are now out of bounds for other uses. On the north wall, I do have a circuit I can use. I don't know why it's marked 2, that's just a prior owner. So I'm going to put a cord reel on that circuit. And then in the south wall, not actually inside my shop, but just on the other side of this interior door, I've got these strange interior windows that go to like what could be used as an office, I guess. That's got another set of outlets that are on a different circuit. So the second cord reel is going to go in on that south wall. Just for fun, I bought 2 different brands of reels. This is TerraBloom. It's a 25-foot reel. It's 12 gauge. Ceremonial unboxing, there's only a couple of parts. One is the reel, it's all completely assembled, and then there was a little bag of mounting screws and 1 page of instructions. I didn't need more than that though, the instructions are fine. Second brand I got was Vevor. It's a longer reel, it's 45 feet, also 12 gauge. Came with really just 1 more part because the mounting bracket was packed separately. There it is kind of in front. And it also had screws for mounting in concrete and separate screws for mounting in wood. I didn't try the concrete screws, I just don't have a place for that. These are both 12 gauge cords. I measured them to see if they measured the same, and they were within 1/128th of an inch of each other, which is probably more accurate than I can measure kind of on that squishy plastic stuff anyhow. So there's really no difference that I could measure between the size of the cords, which you'd expect, they're both 12 gauge. The one difference I noted between these two was Vevor had a 4.5 foot outlet cord. That's much better than the TerraBloom 3 feet. So really, you know, the TerraBloom loses the comparison on that feature alone, but TerraBloom has a new model out. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. I wanted to see if you honestly got the 45-foot advertised length out of the Vevor. I'll do the same thing on the TerraBloom when I get to it, so I'm stretching the thing out as best I can. It goes all the way into that other room in the shop. 45 feet is a really long extension cord, longer than I need for sure. When I measured it out, it measured, you know, just a couple inches short of 45 feet, and I know I don't have the extension cord stretched out, so it's an honest 45 feet, you know, truth in advertising. And it reeled back up just fine. The whole 45 feet went right back in the reel without any problem at all, and no sticking as it went back in. The TerraBloom is advertised as 25 feet. That's a lot shorter. Frankly, 25 feet's plenty for what I'm going to use it for, so I don't really downgrade the TerraBloom for only being shorter. That's just what they said it would be, was 25 feet. Measured it, it actually measured at 26 feet. So again, truth in advertising, that's a fair deal, I think. And it also had no problem rolling all the way back up onto the reel. All right, mounting the TerraBloom. The mounting bracket comes attached when it's out of the box. You've got to push this little button, and then just the mounting bracket just slips right off. Then it can be placed on the wall, and once you have it screwed on the wall, the reel just pops right in the mounting bracket. It's really easy. I'm marking the mounting holes. I went through and drilled some pilot holes after that. When I use screws, I like to use a little bit of wax on the end of them. You'll see just a tiny little dab. That's probably more than I needed. It makes the screws go in easier. But despite that, these screws didn't work for me. I think they were too long, and they went through that piece of wood that shows on the video and into some metal, and I just snapped off the first one that I tried. You'll see it in just a second. The head of it just snapped off, and I had to pull that one out. So I went back and got some slightly shorter screws, The ones I ended up picking were actually star drive screws, because I like star drive screws, especially with an impact driver. The driver stays on the star drive a lot better than if you're using Phillips head. So here I'm just backing off the broken screw. There's the star drive screw I ended up using. It's shorter, so it won't go through that wood, but it was plenty strong to hold on there. The bracket uses 4 screws. Once the bracket's on, the reel drops right in the bracket and the top part of the bracket clicks right in. It's easy as pie. It's plenty sturdy. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Since it only has that 3-foot outlet cord, I had to use a small extension cord to make it reach the outlet. And again, to me, that's the drawback in the TerraBloom. The Vevor, I had to look at the instructions on it. It's got a separate bracket, but if you're using it vertically, it just slips right onto the bracket. I'm actually mounting this in this window frame material for these oddball interior windows in my shop. It's plastic, but it's pretty thick, and I think it'll hold just fine. They're pretty long screws. They seem to have a lot of bite. Ideally it'd be in wood or in metal, but this is what I had in the right position. I think it'll hold just fine. I ended up using the supply screws that are meant for wood, but again, with a little pilot hole, they seem to work fine in this plastic. Once the bracket's in, the Vevor just drops onto the bracket. It just holds on with the force of gravity. That works fine. In order to hook it up to the outlet, I just poked a hole in the silly screen in the silly interior windows in my shop, and that all plugged in and worked fine. So I declare the Vevor to be the winner of this contest because it's got a 4.5-foot cord that allows you more flexibility as to where you're going to place it relative to the outlet. But having said that, since I bought the TerraBloom, now TerraBloom has a 40-foot extension cord reel that also, at least, is advertised as having a 4.5-foot outlet. So, Vevor might be back in a tie for first place with this new product. In any event, I don't think you can go wrong with either of them, frankly. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'll be coming out with more workshop improvements in the coming weeks. Bye.